But we begin with the NBA on NBC, and Michael Jordan makes his media debut, and it was fun. Oh, this is music to Todd's ears. Oh.
The best.
It was always Bob Costas bringing you in to watch the NBA on NBC. Now it's Mike Tirico. Tirico sat down with Michael Jordan, and as Paulie likes to say, Michael Jordan is Jaws. He is the shark. He's the shark in Jaws. Now, if you remember the movie, it takes a while before they actually show you the shark. And that's Mike. They waited, and, how many minutes, 45 hour in, then you got to see Mike sit down with Mike Tirico. And they talked about a variety of things. Now, it wasn't a long conversation. I'm going to guess maybe they're sitting down, hopefully, and having an hour at one point, and then maybe next month another hour. I hope it's more like details with Kobe Bryant, where we can understand what Mike sees, how he played the game, saw the game, and, maybe shed some light on what is it that made him so great and what he sees in other players. Here is Michael on why he decided to join NBC.
So you let us bring a camera or two to your place here to talk to you about basketball. Why do you want to share what you're thinking about basketball now?
It's pay it forward. I have an obligation to the game of basketball, not financially. I'm okay. I mean, I think more or less from as a basketball player is to be able to pass on messages of success and dedication to the game of basketball.
Okay. Once again, Kobe was wonderful with this when he did his show Details. Mike usually doesn't let you in. He doesn't need to do interviews. He says he's going to pay it forward. He's going to get paid paying it forward, I'm sure, by NBC. But it's still great to have him around the game. And Mike asked him about his love of today's game.
Still love it?
Love it like you wouldn't believe. I mean, in all honesty, I wish I could take a magic pill, put on shorts, and go out and play the game of basketball today. Because that's who I am. That's that type of competition, that type of competitiveness is what I live for, and I miss it. I miss that aspect of playing the game of basketball, being able to challenge myself against what people see as great basketball. But it's better for me to be sitting here talking to you as opposed to popping my Achilles and I'm in a wheelchair for a while.
Yeah, you can't replicate that. You can't replicate the competitiveness that you get from a sporting event. All of these great athletes talk about that. That's why they try to find other things that bring them something close to that. Peyton Manning's a successful businessman. Tom Brady is an announcer, but he's also an owner. You get golf involved in this for Mike. You get gambling involved in this with Mike. That gets his creative juices going. But it was good. It was good to have him there associated with the game. I thought it was just a great performance by NBC in bringing that back. And it felt bigger. And I think that's what the goal is, to make this bigger. This is network TV. And that's the way it used to be in the 90s, that you had network TV. But you had Marv Albert, and you had Bill Walton and Bob Costas, Steve Snapper Jones. You had that music. In fact, John Tesh, I think, is going to join us this week, Todd. Is that right?
He should be joining us probably on Friday.
Okay. All right. Is he going to play the NBC theme music?
The way I understand it, he will be playing some Round Ball Rock for us.
Okay. Oh, boy. You're going to be geeked for that.
We're having John Tesh on to play Round Ball Rock?
Yes.
We're back.
Yes. Yes.
If we don't win an Emmy this year, I quit. That's it.
All right, Seton. Poll question for hour one is what?
We got two options for you here. Best part of the NBA being back on NBC is Michael Jordan or the music?
Okay.
I expect the music to win in a landslide.
Oh, okay.
Just saying.
Okay. Yeah, I want to see what else they do with Mike. I want to see how accessible, because Mike Tirico's got to go down to Mike's place, and it's basically Mike's home court advantage here. And how often is Mike Tirico going to be able to go there and do a sit down with Michael Jordan? And what are you talking about things that happened maybe last week? Are you talking about kind of a bigger picture with players or teams or maybe his assessment of LeBron. Not necessarily something that happened. So I don't know how timely it's going to be. That would be my biggest concern is, are we talking about things that are happening right now in the league, or is it maybe a broader spectrum for Mike? Yeah, Paulie.
It does feel like it's going to be less analysis and more just riffing with Mike and seeing what you got. But he's probably the least accessible superstar of the past quarter century. He does commercials, but not interviews. And I find it, even last night, the story about shooting a free throw at a rental house, I don't know if it was impressive or sad. He's a mixed character. I got kind of bummed out, but because it feels like he'd pay $1 billion to be Michael Jordan again for 1 year. He'd write a check for half his net worth to be 30 again for 1 year, which I think everybody would, but it felt like he brought it up. It grinded him.
Oh, I wouldn't spend that money.
I think he would in a second.
I think Mike loves his money. I think if you said, hey, Mike, would you spend $100 million to be you for one more year? Maybe. Not $1 billion.
I have his net worth is 3.8. He could skip a bill.
Yeah, he ain't skipping anything. Mike gets paid. Mike's still if Mike didn't have Air Jordan, if he didn't have his brand, Mike would be more accessible. He might be more like Peyton Manning. But he doesn't have to work. He plays golf and probably goes to a couple of board meetings, maybe Zoom calls, and that's it. Like Larry Bird disappeared. Like that's a recluse. Mike disappeared just so he could play golf and he doesn't have to work. Larry doesn't want to do anything. He probably just wants to drink beer and, hang out in French Lick, Indiana. Yes, Eaton.
Larry tried for a minute.
He did.
And then I decided either he decided he didn't want that or that decided it didn't want him, But then he was like, I think I'm good.
But Magic is there. Magic with his business empires. Like there's certain players. Joe Montana's not around. I mean, he was pouring drinks in South Bend, with a Guinness sponsorship. But he does interviews. He's available. But Magic has a business empire here. And, he was doing stuff on First Take and the NBA. And I'm curious about Barkley and crew with their debut on the mothership. And, now you have, some comparisons here. You got NBC, and now we're going to go, okay, let's see what the mothership does. You bring in Shaq, you bring in Charles and Kenny, Ernie, and they'll make their debut tonight.